Growing up, when I was first getting into video games, my two absolute favourites were Smash Bros. Brawl and Pokemon Heart Gold. So ever since then I've always loved dreaming up different Smash movesets for different Pokemon. And recently it got me thinking, what if every type of Pokemon was given a new fighter in Smash Bros? And now that Smash Ultimate DLC is finished after Sora, now seems like a pretty good time to get creative and fantasise. Now be warned, these choices are, surprisingly, my opinions. So don't cry if I choose a different option than you would have. And without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to be starting off with the first three types you're given an option to pick up in Pokemon all the way back in Kanto. That is the starter types, Grass, Fire and Water. For Grass type, I've had to go with a Generation 3 rep in Grovyle. Not only would he have a super fun moveset, you could also use this as an excuse to get mystery dungeon content, taking ideas from Explorers of Time for example. Grovyle was a really liked Pokemon and one you often see drawn up in Smash Bros. And to be honest, I can see why. He'd be a perfect fit. The moveset wouldn't be hard to make at all, and he's got many fun ideas to draw from. Overall, I think this would be a fantastic pick for Smash, and one I can actually see happening at one point in the future. Next up we have Fire type, and this is a Pokemon I actually thought was destined to be DLC for Smash Bros Ultimate, and that is Cinderace. I was absolutely certain Generation 8 would get a character, and Cinderace was honestly the best candidate in my opinion. His football themed moveset would be so much fun, and he already has the built-in Final Smash with G-Max. He also plays a big part in the Galar anime, so he'd appeal to that audience as well as just being one of the most popular Generation 8 Pokemon from Sword and Shield. You know, they put a lot of the budget into him as opposed to the other starters. So I think Cinderace would be the perfect Generation 8 rep. However, he won't be the only one appearing on this list, so spoiler alert. And for Water type we have another starter, right? Well, not quite. In fact, it's the furthest thing from it. I decided to go with a Pokemon who is already used as a Pokeball item, and that is Keldeo. You could essentially work him like a sword fighter with some water type moves included. Not to mention, there's a huge opportunity for a combat mechanic with him transitioning into his Resolute form. Now I was a bit hesitant since he uses 4 legs to move around, but Ivysaur seems to work just fine, so I went with it in the end. He'd be the first mythical rep as well, which I think is really cool, and you could even have the Swords of Justice appear in his Final Smash. Not to mention, we'd finally get a Generation 5 rep we truly deserve. And moving on from the starter types, we come to Normal type. And for Normal type, I ended up going with Lopunny. And no, it's not for that reason, you filthy perverts. I was really tempted to go with Arceus, and I really wanted to, but I just couldn't see how he'd work in Smash. Whereas Lopunny would be a very athletic fighter with a fun move pool to pick from, using moves such as high jump kick, agility and bounce for example. She also has a Mega Form which allows for an easy Final Smash, so overall I think she'd be a fantastic choice. And no, not because I'm horny. Electric is up next, and I actually went with a Pokemon, or should I say two Pokemon, who were actually considered for Smash all the way back in Brawl, and that's Plusle and Minun. They'd function very similar to the Ice Climbers and would be a really interesting and cool blend between them and Pichu. This honestly might be the most in-depth pick on my list, and honestly, I think it would be the coolest one to play as well. Like, imagine Ice Climbers mixed with Pichu just flying around the stage, shooting out electric attacks. It would be so much fun. And I kinda wish they got into Brawl, I'm not gonna lie, because them in Ultimate would have been insane. Moving on to Psychic type, and this is the only one where you could somewhat say I'm being a little bit biased. But even then, she's an extremely popular Pokemon, actually ranking in the top 10 of the Pokemon popularity vote last year, and would be easily able to transition into a Smash fighter. She's a lady in the thumbnail, Gardevoir. She has an easy Final Smash with her Mega Form. She would be very easy to make her moveset from. You could even draw from Pokken if you wanted to. And honestly, out of all the Pokemon on the list, she's top 3 of ones I can see getting in one day. And I really hope she does. Not only because she's my favourite Pokemon, but just because she'd be so cool to have in Smash. This was by far the hardest type to decide on, just one Pokemon, because of the sheer quantity of options I had. It's Fighting type. I honestly could have chosen most of the Pokemon in this type and they would have been a good fit, but in the end I ended up going with Urshifu, purely because I think you could do something really interesting with his water and dark type forms. You could have him work like a stance changing character, which, actually thinking about it, would be super cool to have in Smash. And as some of the other Pokemon on the list already have, there's an easy final Smash in his Gigantamax forms. And yeah, you know, there's so many Pokemon I could have gone with, but I just thought Urshifu was the best fit. Also, he'd be a heavy character, so he'd have big hard-hitting moves, and everybody loves characters like that. So overall, I think he'd be a great choice. Moving on to Rock type, and compared to Fighting type, this was a lot easier to choose. I decided on Lycanroc, more specifically his Midnight form. The Pokemon who finally won Ash his first Pokemon League. You know, I couldn't really choose anyone else. Now I know the anime isn't canon, but you can't deny its importance to the franchise as a whole. And Gen 7, I think Gen 7 deserves more reps, because Incineroar is super cool. And Gen 7 has some really interesting concepts for the series, and I just think the more representation we give that, the better. Up next was Ground type, and this was a bit of a pain in the bum due to how awkward it would be to make some of the ground Pokemon work in Smash. But there was one I thought would suit Smash beautifully, and that was Crocodile. Everybody loves Gen 5, that's common knowledge, so that's a bonus for choosing him. But on top of that, I think he's genuinely one of the most badass looking Pokemon, and just that threatening presence in Smash would be so much fun. Going around the stage charging, looking like that, that is something I want to see. And now we have the biggest pain in the arse of the whole video, Flying type. I was really struggling to think of one to put in, when all of a sudden a saviour presented himself in the heavens above, and that was Hawlucha. He's based on the Lucha Libre style of wrestling, so he's literally the perfect choice for Smash. His moveset, no pun intended, the sky would be the limit. He could be a really fun, fast, agile combo character, and he'd just be an absolutely superb fit for Smash Bros. Next we have Bug type, and honestly this came down to a contest between 4 Pokemon: Sizer, Heracross, Buzzwole and Pheromosa, but in the end Sizer just seemed to fit the best out of all of them. Mainly because he's already a Pokeball item, and honestly he doesn't look out of place when he's on the battlefield, so I really couldn't go with anybody else other than Sizer. And again, he has a Mega Form, so there's an easy final Smash there. Also, another Gen 2 rep. Gen 2 is the best gen in my opinion, so the more representation we give that, the better. However, I'm going to contradict myself and say that this is the only Generation 2 pick I have on the list. Yeah, don't ask me why, it just happened like this. Poison type was a fairly straightforward choice, and another one I actually thought had a shot at being Smash DLC, and that's Toxtricity. You could easily make a music based moveset, a form changing moveset where you can change between his 2 forms, and like, there's so many options for him. He's very similar to Cinderace in terms of what he'd bring to the roster, and one I actually see having a shot when Smash 6 eventually rolls around. And now we have the Pokemon rep we were well and truly robbed of, Zoroark. Out of all the Pokemon not in Smash, out of the hundreds and hundreds they could choose, Zoroark is 100% the best one they could add. Iconic Pokemon, you could have a really cool gimmick with Illusion, he's a Gen 5 rep, he's a badass moveset, he's literally the perfect addition, and if I was given the choice to choose one Pokemon, without a shadow of a doubt it would be Zoroark. Dark type was an absolute no-brainer. For Ghost type I had to break my no more Generation 1 reps rule because, well, Gengar. He's in so many of the spin-off games, he's easily one of the most beloved Pokemon ever made, has a move pool that would translate well into Smash, 2 final Smash choices with both Mega and G-Max forms. I really didn't want to add any more Generation 1 Pokemon, but I just couldn't make this list and not add Gengar. That would be a total disservice to him as a Pokemon. Next is Ice type, and this honestly was quite an easy choice. I had to go with Weavile. Like Lopunny, he would be a super fun, fast character to play, and you could definitely make him a combo character as well. He also has two great types for a flashy looking moveset of Ice and Dark, which could make for one of the most visually satisfying characters in the series. Heading into the final three types, we arrive at Steel type. I originally had Sizer as my Steel type Pokemon, but then I sort of realised, hold on, do you know how sick Bisharp would look in Smash? One of the most used Pokemon in the competitive scene, really cool design, would definitely bring a unique playstyle. I don't think you could go wrong with adding Bisharp to the Smash Bros roster. The penultimate type is Dragon, and trust me, there was a lot of very good options. Dragonite, Haxorus, Goodra, Dracovish all had very good shouts and were very unfortunate not to make it. But for me, I just had to go with the signature Pokemon of arguably the most popular champion in the franchise, Cynthia. And so we've gone for Garchomp. Everybody loves Garchomp, everybody loves Cynthia. His moveset would be amazing too. Imagine having moves like Dragon Tail and Earthquake at your disposal as you tear through all challenges that go against you. Easy fun to smash in the Mega form as well. Literally flawless addition. The final type is Fairy, and you can't have a Pokemon list without one of the evolutions. Enter Sylveon. What made me choose Sylveon over the others is that I consider Sylveon to be the Fairy type, whereas the others are just part of their respective types. Not to mention, I think her design allows for the best Smash moveset to be drawn up, mainly the recovery. With the others I've really tried to think of how they would work, but I really struggled. But Sylveon could possibly use something like a Tether Grab or something along those lines, so I don't think it would be too difficult. And of course, the final smash would be a group attack from all of the evolutions. What more could you want? And with Sylveon, that wraps up my ideas for Pokemon in Smash. With all of my additions, this is what the Pokemon representation would look like. I think that's a bloody good selection of diverse, unique, iconic, popular, and most importantly, fun to play Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed this style of video. I do have a few more ideas similar to this, and hopefully I can get those made soonish. That's going to do it for this time, and until next time, thanks for watching.